You bend down to pull a small weed and you feel that familiar stab in your lower back. You pause, your hand on your hip, and you have to take a deep breath before you can stand up straight again. The garden that used to feel like freedom now feels lower and heavier every year. The soil is far away. The beds are hard to reach. And just thinking about kneeling on cold ground makes your knees hurt before you even step outside. You still want homegrown tomatoes, a few pots of herbs, some flowers you can see from the kitchen window. You still want the feeling of morning sun on your face and the sound of bees and butterflies around your plants. What you do not want is to spend the whole afternoon icing your back just because you bent over a few times. Sometimes you think that gardening now is only for younger people. It is not. When you build raised beds the right way for older adults, the garden will rise up to meet you. You can sit on the edge of the bed, stand with a straighter back, and walk on smooth, safe paths. In this video, I will build simple, solid raised beds with you, made especially for people over 60, step by step, in a gentle way that respects your body, your joints, and your strength. Many older adults in the United States are told to be active, to move, and to spend more time outside for better health and mood. At the same time, your back, your knees, and your hips have already worked for decades. You have carried children and grandchildren, stood on concrete floors all day, climbed stairs with heavy bags, and taken a few falls in your life. Your body is not like it was in your 20s anymore, and that is completely normal. Traditional gardens planted at ground level, with long rows, demand many movements of bending, kneeling, and twisting. That design fits a young spine. It does not fit a 60 or 70-year-old back. Raised beds are the opposite. With raised beds, you choose the height, the width, and the layout so your body can move in the safest way. You bring the soil up close to your hands. You keep the paths wide and level. And you arrange the garden so it still works even when you use a cane, a walker, or a wheelchair. The garden changes from something that feels like an obstacle field into a gentle outdoor room. If these calm raised bed tips feel useful to you, hit subscribe and turn on the bell to receive more back-friendly gardening ideas that match the way you live now. If you watch this whole video, you will know how to plan a raised bed that fits your reach in your yard, how to choose materials that are strong but easy to handle, and how to build the frame without lifting boards up high. You will see how to prepare the ground with almost no digging, how to mix and fill soil in a gentle way, and how to make the bed edges and paths so that every trip out to the garden feels steady. You will get simple ideas for watering, for your first planting, and you will hear a short story about an older gardener in the United States who almost gave up their garden until they switched to raised beds. In the end, you will have a simple checklist you can use while you stand right in your yard and go through each step. Tools and materials. You do not need fancy tools to build a good raised bed. You just need the right ones. For the frame, most older gardeners choose wood or a metal raised bed kit. If you use wood, choose outdoor lumber that is safe for vegetables, and ask the store to cut it to the sizes you want. If you use a metal kit, pick one with rounded edges and clear instructions. You need outdoor screws for wood, or bolts and nuts for metal, a light cordless drill with the right bit, a tape measure, a square or a straight board to check corners, and a pencil. For safety, use thick gloves, closed-toe shoes, and simple safety glasses when you drill. For the bottom of the bed, you may need hardware cloth to block moles and voles, and cardboard to block weeds. For the soil mix, prepare topsoil, finished compost, and a loosening material like coconut coir or peat. You can add a light organic fertilizer, but always read and follow the label. To move soil, use a small garden cart or a light wheelbarrow, with a small shovel or soil scoop. For watering, a light hose with a shutoff and a long wand, or a simple soaker hose or drip line. will be more useful than any fancy tool. Keep everything as light and as simple as possible. Step 1. Choose size, height, and location. Go out into the yard and stand where you think you might place the bed. Reach your arm forward in a comfortable way, without twisting your back. Most adults can reach comfortably about 40 to 60 centimeters. That means a bed about 90 to 120 centimeters wide will let you reach the center from both sides without stretching. If it is wider, you either have to reach too far, or the middle of the bed will turn into a jungle that no one ever weeds. For the length, 1.8 meter, 2.4 meter, or 3 meters all work. Choose what fits your yard and your walking energy. Now think about height. If you like to work standing, choose a bed about 60 to 75 centimeters high. The soil will be closer to your hands. If you want to sit on the edge, test a height where, when you sit, your feet are flat on the path and your knees feel relaxed. You can stack a few sturdy objects or sit on a chair set out in the yard to test it. Then measure that height. Find a spot with at least 6 hours of sun if you grow vegetables, especially in USDA zones 5 to 9, so your vegetables will thrive. Watch the shade from trees and fences. Avoid low spots where water stands after rain. Place the bed near a water source so you do not have to carry watering cans far. Leave at least 90 centimeters clear on both sides of the bed for paths. 1.2 meters if you use a walker or wheelchair. Many people push the bed tight against a fence to save space. Then later they cannot reach the back. Picture a cool morning. You hold your tools and walk around the bed. See if there is any place where you would feel stuck. Step 2. Build the frame in a way that is less tiring. Ask the lumber store to cut the boards for you. For example, for a bed 2.4 meters by 0.9 meter, you need 4 boards at 2.4 meters and 4 boards at 0.9 meter. That way you do not have to saw at home. At home, just carry the boards to the place where you will work. Do not haul them farther than you must. Lay the boards down on the ground and form a rectangle, with the short boards between the long boards. Use the tape measure to make them even. Sit on a steady stool or low chair right next to them. Drill pilot holes for the screws at each corner. Then drive screws from the long boards into the short boards. Keep the drill close to your body. Your shoulders low, your feet steady. Let the ground hold the boards. Do not hold boards up in the air. If you use a metal kit, lay out the panels, sit or stand in a stable way, and follow the instructions step by step. Wear gloves so the metal edges do not cut your hands. And keep bolts and nuts in a small tray so you do not have to bend to pick them up. When the frame is assembled, measure from one corner to the opposite corner, then the other way. If the two diagonal measurements are close, the frame is square enough. Set the frame into the spot you chose. Ask for help if you need it. Rest your hands on the edge and test the height. If it feels too low, you still have time to decide to stack one more layer of boards. If it feels too high and hard to reach into, you can lower it. Write in the comments what size bed you plan to build, how tall it will be, and which zone you are in, because your choice can help other people think through their own gardens. Step 3. Prepare the ground without much digging. Push the frame aside. Use the hose, a line of flour, or the edge of a shovel to mark the outline of the bed on the soil. Cut the grass inside that outline as low as possible. The lower it is, the faster it breaks down. If your garden often has moles or voles, now is the time for hardware cloth. Cut a piece big enough to cover the bottom of the bed with a few centimeters extra on each side. Lay it flat on the ground. Put on gloves, and bend the extra edges upright. Place the wooden or metal frame over it, so the bent edges of the mesh stand up along the inside of the bed walls. Then staple or screw it to the wood and cover any sharp ends that point toward the path. Next, lay cardboard over all the soil inside the frame. Tear apart the boxes. Remove tape. Overlap the pieces so no gaps are left. Cardboard blocks light, weakens weeds, and slowly turns into organic matter. A common mistake is leaving a gap in the corners or a strip down the middle. And weeds will climb through that. When you are done, water the cardboard so it is evenly moist. Wet cardboard will cling to the soil and soften. If it is not safe for you to step inside the frame, stand outside. Use the long wand on your hose to water. Or ask a family member to step in and work while you give directions. Step 4. Add loose soil that is easy to plant in and easy to work. Now it is time to create the living space for the plant roots. In many places, the soil that is already in the yard is either heavy clay or loose sand. Raised beds let you mix soil that is custom made to your liking. A simple formula is 1 part topsoil, 1 part compost, and 1 part loosening material like coconut coir or peat. You can also order a pre-mixed raised bed soil from a landscape supplier. Ask if they can dump the load as close to the bed as possible. Use a small cart instead of a deep wheelbarrow. Cut open the soil bag at about hip height. Scoop it into the cart. And avoid bending to the ground. Pour the soil into the bed in layers. Each layer about the width of your hand. Then water it lightly so the soil settles. At the bottom you can put a few small branches or coarse compost to help drainage. The main layer is your mixed soil. The top layer is a fine mix for planting. Soil in your hand should feel soft. When you squeeze it, it should hold together a little. Then fall apart again, not stay as a hard clump. If it sticks like heavy clay, add compost and loosening material. If it falls apart like pure sand, add more compost. Do not fill all the way to the top. Leave the soil 2 to 5 centimeters below the rim so water and mulch stay in. When you use fertilizer or any soil conditioner, always read the bag carefully and follow the instructions. Store what is left in a dry place, away from children and pets. This video is for educational purposes. Always check local regulations and product labels and ask a professional if you are worried about safety. Step 5. Make the bed edge and the paths friendly for older adults. If the wooden frame does not yet have a wide top board, now is the time to add one. One board about 12 to 15 centimeters wide across the top is enough for you to sit on. Drive screws down from the top. Smooth any sharp spots. Then sit and slide along to see if anything catches. Your feet should rest on the path. Your knees relaxed. Your body steady. Check for any screw heads that stick up. Next, make the paths. Leave at least 90 centimeters clear on the working side. 1.2 meters if you use a walker or wheelchair. Remove all rocks, roots, clutter, and hose loops. Lay down your path material. It can be wood chips, crushed gravel, or flat bricks or concrete pavers with a rough surface. Spread it in thin layers and pack it flat. Walk the path in your everyday shoes with the tools you usually carry. If you use a cane or walker, walk with it too. If you feel any wobble or tilt, fix that area right away. You can place a few solar lights along the path if you often go to the garden at dawn or dusk. Use plant labels with large clear letters so you do not have to bend close to read them. Step 6. Simple watering and your first planting. Attach a light hose to the spigot closest to the bed. Add a shutoff and a long wand. Water slowly and deeply. Then let the top layer of soil dry some before you water again. Test it by pushing your finger into the soil to the second knuckle. If it feels dry there, it is time to water. In zones 5 to 9, watering in the early morning is often best. The air is cool and plants have time to dry before night. If standing and holding a hose makes you tired, lay a soaker hose or drip line down the length of the bed. Cover it lightly with mulch. Connect it to the spigot. And use a simple timer. Then you only need to check the soil now and then and adjust. For your first planting, choose easy plants that do well in raised beds. Leafy greens like lettuce, Asian greens, herbs, bush beans, and compact tomatoes are good choices. In spring and fall, lettuce, spinach, and radishes are very suitable for raised beds. In summer, beans, peppers, and tomatoes will enjoy the deep loose soil if they get enough water. Read the spacing on the seed packets and plant tags. Plant the crops you harvest often along the edge where you stand, so you do not have to reach far. Put tall plants and trellises at the back so they do not block your reach. Use a hand trowel with a padded handle. Sit on the edge of the bed to plant so your back stays straighter. Mulch with straw, dry leaves, or bark around the base of plants to hold moisture and cut down on weeds. Share in the comments what you want to plant first in your new raised bed and which state you live in, because your idea can make someone else feel excited to start. You have planned a raised bed based on your reach, your height, and your yard, instead of forcing your body into an old-style garden. You chose materials that are strong but workable. You built the frame on the ground so your back does not have to hold boards in the air. You prepared the ground with hardware cloth and cardboard. Without deep digging, you filled the bed with a balanced soil mix in small loads, watering each layer. You made a bed edge you can sit on, and paths that are wide, flat, and safe for your step. You prepared simple watering and planted easy crops first, placed where they are easy to reach. Each of these points is a small win that protects your body and keeps your joy in gardening. Henry lives in the state of North Carolina. He is 70 years old and worked many years as a builder. His hands are still strong, but his back is not what it used to be. He loves his garden, but low ground level beds made his back stiff and his knees sore. After one day of weeding on his knees that was too much, Henry almost decided to give up the garden. Then his neighbor helped him build 2 raised beds right off the back porch, each 0.9 meter wide, 2.4 meters long, and 60 centimeters high. They added a wide sitting edge, made soft paths, and laid a simple soaker hose. Now every morning Henry carries his cup of coffee out, sits on the edge of the bed, and trims his herbs without kneeling. He is still a gardener. He is just a wiser gardener. Work in short sessions in the garden. Take breaks. Drink water. Wear good shoes, gloves, and a hat. Stop right away if you feel dizzy or sharp pain. Use tools with padded handles. Ask the store or a friend to cut wood for you. You do not need to touch a saw. Design your beds and paths around your cane, walker, or wheelchair, and keep your paths clear. Follow the directions on every bag of fertilizer, spray, or soil conditioner. This video is for educational purposes. Always check local regulations, product labels, and ask a professional if you are worried about safety. Remember that asking others to help with the heavy parts is not weakness. You are the gardener, no matter who is pushing the cart of soil. By now, you have gone through the full process of planning, building, filling, and planting raised beds that are friendly for older adults. Write in the comments which step in this whole process will make the biggest difference for your body. The height, the frame, the soil mix, the paths, or the watering. Share the climate or state where you live and one crop you are excited to grow in your raised bed this season, so other older gardeners can see what raised beds look like across the United States. If this guide made gardening feel possible again, even just a little, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. That one click tells the platform that older adults also care about raised beds and need more ideas to protect their backs. In the next video, we will stay with raised beds and set up a simple drip irrigation system, using parts from any hardware store, so you can water deeply without dragging a heavy hose or standing long in the sun. Step by step, We will build a full raised bed system that helps you keep your independence, your comfort, and your joy in the garden.